Good evening, everyone, and welcome back once again to Vicious Rants. And of course, I am your host, your YouTube messiah, and often imitated, never duplicated superstar Tim Vicious. And we are talking about Raw. I don't know about the rest of y'all, but I'm considering this the first official Raw post Royal Rumble. You know, considering last week with the whole weather, and they wound up turning it more into like Monday Night Live Wire. You know, I'm just saying no, because you know they actually had a match and such. Not match, but matches, I should say. Sorry, brain's a little. Work with me here, folks. Alright, so, anyways. Talking about with this week's Raw, it was in Denver, Colorado, Pepsi Arena. Honest to goodness, when I found out it was there, first thing I went to, I started laughing because I'm a South Park mark, and the first thing I thought of right off bat was that episode of South Park where all the kids went to the Pepsi Arena and they saw WWE. Yeah, but aside from that, they started out the show, the Authority coming out, rightfully so, coming out. They said they would make a big announcement, so it was expected that they would this time. They come out, and they go, rub into people's faces on how the Patriots won right at the end of the Super Bowl. And also, and you know, just kept smearing, and it was like pretty much was like looking to draw like serious heat from like the Seattle fans, and all. I thought it was pretty good, but I'm also a little biased because one, I'm a Triple H fan, and B, also I'm always in the favor of if you're gonna be a bad guy, you do whatever you have to piss off the crowd, you know? So if that means you need to do something like, I'll give an example before I do. Parents, if you have children watching this, plug their ears. Prime example, when I wrestled, I would go and antagonize the crowd. I would go and just, I would see a dude with his girl, I would go and just say, "Hey, buddy, let me ask you, she half decent? Yeah? Yeah? Hey, honey, how about after I go and kick his ass, I show you, instead of being half decent, what's it like to be with a real man instead of having to go and be with that little prick right there?" I would do whatever I had to piss off the fans. And that's what they were doing, pissing off the fans. Also parents, you can undo the ears now. Yep. And they would piss off, and, you know, they were also, kind of felt like they were trying to troll ESPN with the whole, oh, now they're going to cancel the NFL Network and all that. But I'm pretty sure that was also a good burn towards those canceled network smarks, which case, hey, guys, by the way, how'd that whole cancel network thing go for you? Because right after you guys after you guys did that, the network hit 1 million subscribers, and the stock went up 20 points. So yeah, by all means, please, oh please, put a comment there, down below, and tell me on how well that went. Anyways, they were talking about on that, and then out comes, and they talk about the finish for the Rumble, which, you know, in some sense, it was a good thing that the snow did happen at that time, because that gave time to help build up and make this actually happen, you know? Because let's face facts, if this would have happened, if the snowstorm didn't happen last week, we wouldn't be having this story right now, because I'm pretty sure all the writers were shitting their pants after the crowd reaction to Reigns, and Vince just looked at everyone and said, and once they found out that the snowstorm happened, Vince looked at everyone and was like, "You got until fucking next week to fix this damn mess, or you're all fired." Got my Vince impression in early. Nice. But, and they did this. Made it saying, big controversy on the finish. So now what? So Roman says, "Hey, I won. Screw you and eat that bitch." And then out comes Daniel Bryan, who brought up a legitimate point, which case, not just a legitimate point I brought up on the Sunday Segway podcast a long time ago, back when Daniel Bryan first wound up having, right after Bryan relinquished the title. Saying he had to relinquish it, so he was never given his justified rematch for having to relinquish it. And he was enforcing that right. And then out comes Seth, who said he wound up, him and Brock stole the show, which, for all intents and purposes, yeah, they did. And saying he deserves a shot. So Hunter's looking around, Hunter and Steph are looking around like, you guys all got interesting points and very strong points. So we'll do this. Daniel, you and Seth are going to go against each other tonight, and the winner of you two is going to go against Roman at Fastlane for the main event spot on the line. Which, no problem with me whatsoever. Not like the first time we seen a main event, the WrestleMania spot on the line at a pay-per-view. Don't believe me? St. Valentine's Day Massacre, Austin versus McMahon at the cage match. First debut of Paul White. Random useless knowledge right there. Moving along. So, they bring that up, and then they say, and then Hunter goes and shoos Daniel and Seth to the back, and then just as Roman's about to leave, Hunter's like, "Whoa, wait, Roman, we got something for you. Your match is now." And out comes the Big Show. Oh, God. Seriously. Can we stop with Big Show versus Reigns? It is not a popular... It is not going to be a thing. And aside from that, every time, I swear... how I say every time Miz does the figure four, God kills a kitten? Every time Big Show does a spear, a baby cries in pain. For the love of God, somebody think of the babies and explain to Big Show, do not do a spear, or if you're going to, have Edge or Goldberg teach you how to execute one properly. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I can't do that. Every time I see Big Show do that, it just gets me sick to my stomach. And moving along, though, gonna try and get over this nausea. The match itself, what you would expect for a Big Show Roman Reigns match. Match came to an end. Seth distracted the ref. Jamie Noble had the briefcase. Or no, not Jamie Noble. Yeah, see? Ugh. It's on how messed up I am from thinking of this match. J&J was distracting the ref. Seth came along, had the briefcase, wham! Rammed it right in the Roman's spine, and then Big Show choke slam, 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Next. So yeah, that was pretty much it. And then of course we got our next match. We got the Ascension versus the Dust Brothers, which on paper seems pretty interesting, and when I say on paper it seems interesting, I'm still considering When I'm thinking of the Ascension, I'm thinking of NXT Ascension. Not these wearing tight leather, looking like something out of an S&M bondage club. All they need is a mask to look like they're wearing a gimp suit Ascension. You know, but on paper it seems interesting. The match could have gone a little longer in my book. I would have liked that, you know, especially, you know, the tag team mark in me. You know, we were able to get fairly decent, and we were able to get a solid tag match on the Rumble pre-show and fairly solid tag matches on the Rumble itself. It's not that hard to get a half-decent tag team match, especially when you got two actual tag teams competing. Yeah, it's like I said before, the art of tag teaming, and I mean actually being an actual tag team, is slowly becoming a dying art form. You know, I mean, and this is an open challenge to everyone out there that's watching this. If you don't have a YouTube account, create one, and I'm challenging you all now. Not past teams, but all current, future tag teams on the main roster. Not NXT and not anything from FCW, but current tag teams on the roster. By all means, please mention them, because I want you to think because that is going to help show on my issue with the tag team division. Because Usos, the Masters of the WWE Universe, which are now pretty much becoming my favorite tag team on the roster. Shouldn't even say pretty much, should just say are, considering it's Cesaro's on there. You know, Ascension, Dust Brothers, and you got the Matadors. You know, you got 5 tag teams right there. You need 2 people that have good ring chemistry and have good chemistry outside of the ring as well. That's fundamentally some of the best dynamics you need to make a good tag team. You know, need to be able to work with your partner, set and time moves good, you know, as well as have a good chemistry to be able to trust them and work with them. You know, you don't have that, you're not going to have a good tag team. All you're going to have is, and I'm not saying this as a knock, but you're basically going to have a tag team like Rocky Johnson and Tony Ness were. And I'm only saying that because Tony Ness has gone on the record plenty of times saying the only time him and Rocky Johnson ever actually traveled together was the night they dropped the belts. That's it. Because, you know, other than that, they couldn't stand being near each other. Not a good sign of tag team chemistry right there in my book. You know, but yeah, moving along, enough on the issue about with that. The Ascension wound up winning. Trying not to call it total annihilation. The fall of man. There, Jose, I hope you're happy now, because I called it what it was, and you don't have to correct me and hide in your little hole again. They hit the fall of man on Goldie, got the 1, 2, 3. Stardust came in, looks like, what happened? What happened? Storm and Mad walked off. Right after that, they wound up showing a segment where Stardust was sitting there, and then Goldust came over. He was like, "Hey, what's the matter? What's the matter, Cody?" And then just stood up. "Don't ever call me that. I'm Stardust." And then walked off. And I think that counts as 2 impressions for this episode now, since I just did the Stardust hiss. I think so, but yeah, either way, nice good scene. They're slowly starting to build a separation between them two. Would like to see a match between them two at, later on down the road. There was a lot of speculation saying that they were going to do a match between them two at Mania last year. We didn't get that. All well and good. Hoping that we can get something like that this year for Mania 31. Next matchup, Ryroyd versus Luke Harper. Never in my life did I ever want to see Luke Harper throw a boot to someone's face so hard that they pretty much just about shattered someone's teeth. Yeah, and I'm not trying to say this as a knock, because but I never try and wish ill on any of the actual boys. If I ever shit on a wrestler on this show, I have brought it up millions of times before. I ever shit on a wrestler on this show, it's on the character, not the person themselves. Because I got enough respect for the fact that whether I like that person or not, they're going in the ring and putting their bodies and their lives on the line for my entertainment. Ryback is the exception. I cannot stand that roided up fuck knuckle for the life of me. I've said before on it, for those that don't know, went to a SmackDown show, saw him, went there, took my dad. Dad saw the little driveway where all the little driveway spot where the superstars go and drive and walk in. He asked if I would want to go with him to that spot. I figured, hey, why not? We go over there. We see a couple of guys. Saw Natty, Roman, Heath Slater, even Swoggle. Then comes Ryroyd, and there's this kid who's sitting there. He's about maybe as tall as the motor on this fan right here. You could tell he's mentally and physically handicapped, and holding up a sign saying, I'm a Ryback fan. Only one there, and that's when he was drawing heat with that whole Rybaxel shit. What does he do? He doesn't even acknowledge the kid. Completely walks past him and goes and hits on some fucking 20-year-old chick with a headset on with knockers the size of my fucking head. That's not fucking cool. I don't care on if you're the biggest heel in the company or you're just starting. You at least do something to acknowledge that somebody is cheering for you in some kind of a manner. You could go and play it off in a heel sense, saying, hey, that kid's the only smart one out of all of these losers. Something like that. I got issues with the guy because of that. I also got issues with him because of what he's done with people that I know. That's a story for a whole other day. I ain't gonna sweat that on here. This ain't the going bash Ryback hour. This here is Vicious Rants. So we're getting back to the matter at hand, talking about the product, talking what's good, what's bad, and what I think could be improved. So on with the show. Harper versus Ryback. Harper, the man never ceases to impress me. Just when you think you see this guy do everything that you think he could. The man is 7 foot and 300 plus pounds, and he flies around that damn ring like a cruiserweight, throwing out super kicks out the yin-yang, suicide dives, hurricanranas, and just over the rope senton. And JBL wound up even making me stop and do a double take on commentary because he said, I was like, I think I just saw a zombified Eddie Guerrero right there. That made me stop like, whoa, that's one hell of a fucking reference right there. I thought Harper was on par. The man is phenomenal. I absolutely love this guy. This guy is going to go places, you know, not a matter of if, but when Rusev eventually drops the U.S. title, Harper should be put in the U.S. title picture, or if not, back into the Intercontinental picture. Because, you know, the guy is definitely championship material. Whether or not the character is main event material, that's debatable. But the wrestler himself is definitely championship material. The match wound up coming to an end when, with old Skippy hitting that clothesline and doing a shell shock, he got the 1, 2, 3. And yeah. Next up, it was one of the Usos. I can't tell which one. It was the one with the tag team title and the face paint. Wait. Either way, he was going up against my favorite guy on the roster. I'm pretty much like, if y'all ain't following my one buddy on out there on Twitter, you know, Bingus, y'all need to look for him. I am to Cesaro much like he is to Billy Gunn. Yeah, that's all I'm going to leave it at. Bingus, I know you were watching this, and I hope you appreciate that reference, man. But yeah, going up against Cesaro, and man, Cesaro just went in there, looking at, just walked into that ring thinking, Vince says I don't connect with the crowd, huh? Fuck you, Vince. I'm going to show you what I do to connect with the crowd, and put on a fucking show. You know, just dominating. You know, I mean, Uso 2, I think he was, what got offense in, obviously, but it wasn't a one-sided match. But oh my God, Cesaro, he pretty much was running that ring rampant. I mean, going from doing the Cesaro swing, double foot stomp, tossing him around, and the match coming to an end in such a beautiful way. Definitely showed Cesaro that he is on par with being a top guy. Uso went up to the top rope, went to go and do the body splash. Next thing you know, Cesaro, right while the Uso's in there, Cesaro got up and European uppercut, and you could see, it looked like his jaw was just about to ready to fly off and go into the 5th row. Next thing you know, just go, clips the leg, 1, 2, 3, gets the win, thank you, good night. Yeah, that's on how you run a fucking match. Take note, kids. Like I said, Cesaro, hands down, the most underutilized talent on the roster. And when he is shown what he can do, and when he does get to show what he can do, he puts on a show. Now, him and Kid definitely, and I mean definitely, deserve the tag titles when they get their title shot. Not a matter of if they get their title shot, but when they get their title shot. That is what I want. Next matchup, we got Dolph Ziggler versus Bray Wyatt. And I had mixed emotions about this match because, while two of those guys are guys I really like, I know it's not going to go well for Dolph because Dolph has been riding high and strong since Survivor Series, even with that whole being fired thing. You know, I mean, you know enough that he wasn't really fired. I mean, he was doing an improv show. But yeah, but the match itself was, ooh, man, that was phenomenal. It was great. But but what I was getting at with Dolph, man, he's been riding high and now getting put up against Bray, who has to look strong because he's gonna have one phenom of an opponent sometime soon, and it's going to be quite the undertaking, you know. And, you know, it's just, Bray may have to go and show that he is the top dog of the yard. And if you're not getting these little, if I'm not being subtle enough for you on what it is, Bray's going to wind up doing something with Taker soon. So they're making him look strong. There we go. Sorry if I seem a little more crankier than normal when I'm doing this. It's not exactly all the way up to 100% on my caffeine intake yet. Getting there though. Just be patient. Anyways, match came to the end. Bray hit the Sister Abigail, got the 1, 2, 3, and yeah. It was a stellar match though. It was a good match. Just, you hate when you see two guys that you know you need to have look good go up against each other, because then you're just like, who the hell can we afford to have lose? And next up, get your penicillin, get your antibiotics. It's that time once again for the ST Divas match. And we got Paige versus Fox, and Alicia, whew, dang, hot dog. There's a reason I want to say she's going to be a future ex-wife. Whew. Anyways, oh, yeah, the Bella Skanks were also ringside. Yeah, they were doing, pretty much sounding all monotone like, and again, parents, earplugs, sounding like they were, phone sex operators. And you can undo the earplugs now. And also, showing that their spray tans are so gloriously fake they're about as orange as a Muppet. I'm pretty sure you could start actually telling them apart now, aside from the boob jobs, because one's about as orange as Bert and the other one's almost as yellow as Ernie. Or is it the other way around? Now I'm really gonna sit there and think about it. I can't afford to think about that. We're recording. Burning time. Time is money here, man. Time is money here. Focus, Vicious. Focus! Anyways, match wound up coming to the end. When Paige, she got the win. I don't even remember really on how, but yeah, that showed how much I paid attention to the match. After the match, though, the Bella Skanks wound up going in the ring, and it's supposed to be a spray tan, and sprayed Paige to go, because they were ribbing her about on how she's so pasty white and looks like a vampire, which, come on, that's a cliche joke. You want to do a joke on her? Why not call her Casper? Or make a reference on how she's like one shade lighter than an albino. But, my big thing was, okay, you want to say it's a thing about spray tan, okay, but that wasn't really spray tan. That looked more like black spray paint, kind of like an NWO thing, which, kudos to the fans that were in the audience that started yelling NWO, but, Next up, Miz versus Sin Cara, and before that, they showed a little segment. Mizdow got fired as the Miz's stunt double, and now he's his personal assistant, which I kind of cringe at, because the last man that was the Miz's personal assistant was Alex Riley, who's now the douchiest ball bag in the company. Not to be confused with the ball bag, the Miz. And the reason why I say Alex Riley is the douchiest ball bag is because his commentary, he just constantly keeps burying people, and Which, really, Riley, do you have any room to talk on that, considering on how well your in-ring career in WWE went? You know? And, by the way, if any Alex Riley fans that were... If that one Alex Riley fan that was trying to bash me when I was watching NXT the other night is watching this show, seriously, honey, sit and spin, and don't even bother using the lube. But yeah, Mizdow kept egging the Miz because he would go and try and do like his little stunt double ways, going to mimic the Miz, and Miz would go, "Whoa, no, no, no," and then go and do it, and then Mizdow would just stand there like, and then go to start to do it again, like. And then Miz, "Whoa, no, no, no. You don't listen to them. You listen to me." And kept doing that. And eventually it wound up coming to where Mizdow was just like, "Fuck it, I gotta be me." And just stood up right on the apron. And I'm keeping my eyes closed because I don't want you to see me without my glasses on here, folks. Yeah. Even if you couldn't really see because of the hat, still. That's one of the very few things I'm self-conscious on, so yeah, just go along with me. Anyways, as far as with the match itself, it was your time filler, but you know, Mizdow really made that match. That was the key thing. But Sin Cara got the match, so this night was a night in history for Raw because not only did Sin Cara get a victory, but Sin Cara got a full, yes, that's right, a full entrance on Monday Night Raw from the time his music played to the time his music finished. There was no intro, there was no video segments playing, no video segments playing, no cutting to commercial, no nothing. He got an entire entrance. So this is a night in history. So make sure you mark this on your calendars, folks. And yeah, now we come up to Rusev versus Rowan, which case can't even really say this was a match because the match never really started, and the only really good part about this was, of course, again, future ex-wife, Lana. Enough about my delusional daydreamings, though. You know, but Rusev just went full on ape shit on Rowan and was just beating the hell out of him, you know? And then right after that, you know, it was just, then they dropped the flag, and then when they dropped the flag didn't come down all the way, which was freaking hilarious. That was hilarious right there. I don't care what anyone says. You know, the flag system botched. You know somebody's got yelled at for that. Somebody had to get yelled at for that. That was friggin' funny. And yeah, Rusev was just like screaming, and Lana was also. They played it off good, you know, trying to sell it, saying like, "Oh well, Cena wound up causing that," you know. That was the problem, you know. No, it's not. No, that wasn't really, but but yeah, I thought that was pretty clever. You know, it was a nice little way on how they worked to cover it up. You know, and I you know, when you got to do improv like that, hey, you work with what you got, and yeah, it was what it was, and you do with what you have, and that was pretty genius because right when that happened, no lie, right when that happened, as they were screaming and yelling at that, lo and behold, what did they do? They just Rusev stormed out the ring, grabbed it, picked up his flag he came down with, and started waving that around. And yeah, I thought that was good. I thought that was pretty clever of them. You know? You guys? No? Anyone? Anyone? Seriously? No? No? Yeah. Well, anyways, main event time. Seth Rollins versus Daniel Bryan. Can never get enough seeing these two guys going at it. You can thank Ring of Honor for this main event on Monday Night Raw. And to all the people that were just constantly like, oh, well, yeah, Ring of Honor, yeah, Ring of Honor, yeah, Ring of Honor. Dude, no, trust me. Ring of Honor is the fucking shit, man. If anything, I would love to have 3 hours of Ring of Honor on TV go neck and neck with Monday Night Raw in a new Monday Night War, because guaranteed the product they got is not just different, but the way they present their product is way better. But yeah, Bryan versus Seth, and these two guys always put on a show. It was just beautiful from the time it started to the time it ended. The only disappointments I had was Big Show was lurking around the ring like, you know, like the stereotypical giant he is, like, you know, which, by the way, if any of you did download that WWE Immortals game, please undownload it quick, because I did it and it's nothing more but just a giant button masher. I would say it's a button masher, but all you do is just tap it like this really quick, and sometimes you got to do that. So yeah, you're wasting your time and wasn't really appreciative. And the only true thing that the only good contribution it gave was a picture of Big Show like this. Just like this. Yeah. But match was real nice. You know, just as it looked like, but you can never get enough seeing these guys going at it. Absolutely love it. You know, Seth, you know, he already showed at the Rumble that he is not a competitor to be on the main event level, but hands down more than fucking qualified to compete on the main event level. And Daniel, well, everyone knows where Daniel is as far as with the main event level. And, you know, especially considering he's coming back from a neck injury, and the man's moving around the way he is without hesitating or blinking twice after having that kind of an injury is just phenomenal and stellar on his part. But wound up doing that. He did that. Next thing you know, but how the match started to come to an end, just as it looked like J&J and Big Show were going to have Seth get the win. Roman comes out and can't even really say he did a spear to Big Show. He took like 2 or 3 steps and then just flew in a spearing position and took Show down. In which case, Big Show, take no! And then he started to go around to Seth. Seth's like, whoa, hey, big guy, take it easy, easy, no. And then Joey Mercury got in the way and then got speared. And then Seth got in the ring, and Jamie Noble was distracting the ref, and then Roman just, wham, Superman punched him, which, you know, and then Daniel hit the running knee and got the 1, 2, 3. Glad to see Daniel won, because now we're going to have Daniel versus Roman. 99% sure that that's going to be the main event for the Fastlane. But big thing that irked me about with that finish was the whole time Cole and Booker T were griping on how J&J and Big Show were getting ready to go and help Seth win, but completely, like, somebody hit the fucking mute button on them the second Big Show, or the second Roman Reigns did that for Daniel Bryan. You know? Like, okay, dude, there is a fucking thing out there in this world called double standards. You know, you can't just say, like, you can't just go and say, I don't like you doing this, and then once another person does it, you're just like, oh, go ahead, carry on. No! No, that's not fucking cool! You know, at least have them be like, wait, what's going on? What? What? And then have JBL carry the weight of the complaining on that. Don't have them go saying, well, what about this right here, Michael? But, you know, have them be like, that's not fair. That's not fair. Like that. You know, just like they were. You know, it's simple. All in all, I thought this Raw was pretty decent. Like I said, I thought it was pretty good. I give it 3.5 out of 5. You know, now, folks. So, like all normal folks, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, go back, watch the other episodes. Look for me on Twitter at TimVicious. Make sure y'all look for my backup account, Tim_Vicious. I get put in Twitter jail every now and again. Also, make sure y'all look for me on that whole Book of Faces gimmick, Tim Ash. And I use Ash because I am still a firm believer in kayfabe, and I do not put out my real name out there. Y'all know my real name, you're privileged. Y'all know my real last name, I should say. You're privileged. Anyways, also, do not forget to follow all of these cool-ass cats right here on Twitter. Vicky Earls, make sure y'all check out Vicky's YouTube page, as well as Vicky's new podcast that just dropped earlier this past week, The Celtic Commodity. I am Danny Sunday, Mucky Morse, Axel Mulligan. Make sure y'all check out Axel's show, Axel's Wrestling Review. Sunday Segue. Kenny, was an absolute pleasure to be on there this past Sunday. Yes, folks, I did make my glorious return to there. Make sure y'all go and check them out to listen. Sinfully Sabrina, Cranky Grandpa, Legion Lady Aaron, Oliver Ben, Just a Stupid Mark, and Mark, you're still a piece of shit, as well as my client, who, as I have said before, is the true Raw General Manager, Bronx Bitch 4. That's right, number 4 ever. And folks, like I always tell y'all, you love me great, you hate me. Fuck yous.